There was a time, so the elders whisper, when medicine did not arrive in bottles, nor wear the cold face of sterile rooms and fluorescent light. It did not speak in codes or numbers, nor reduce the human body to a puzzle of symptoms to be silenced. Medicine, in its original form, was a conversation, a living exchange between the body, the earth, and something far older than both. It was understood then that healing was not the removal of discomfort, but the restoration of harmony. The rivers carried instruction. The roots beneath the soil held memory. Even the wind, brushing against the skin, reminded the body of how to return to balance. To be ill was not to be broken. It was to be out of rhythm with the great pattern. Those who practiced medicine were not authorities. They were listeners. They listened to pulse not just as a beat, but as a story. They observed the eyes, the breath, the way a person stood in relation to the horizon. Healing was not imposed, it was invited, and the invitation required reverence. But somewhere along the long arc of time, something shifted. Strangers entered the realm, not always with malice, but with certainty. They brought systems, structures, and a belief that complexity must be controlled rather than understood. They separated what had always been whole, body from spirit, mind from land, patient from healer. They called this progress. They did not see the forest as a teacher, they saw it as raw material. They did not hear the body's language, they translated it into data. Where there had once been relationship, they introduced hierarchy. Where there had been trust in the intelligence of life, they introduced intervention. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, the center of medicine moved. Healing became management, symptoms became enemies, time became scarce. Silence, once an essential part of diagnosis, was replaced with urgency. The sacred became clinical. Yet beneath all of this, the original current has never disappeared. It still moves through the soil. It still rises in the sap of plants. It still lives in the quiet, knowing within the body, the part that recognizes what nourishes and what harms without needing to be told. This is the medicine that cannot be patented, cannot be owned, cannot be rewritten by ideology. The so-called hijackers did not erase it, they only distracted from it, because true medicine does not originate in systems, it originates in relationship. Relationship to the land that sustains life, relationship to the body that carries consciousness, relationship to the unseen forces that animate both. And perhaps the quiet rebellion of this era is not loud nor confrontational, but deeply personal. It is the act of remembering, of returning attention to what was always present, of questioning not from defiance but from discernment. To seek medicine from the source of this planet is not to reject all that has been built, it is to place it back into context. Tools are not the problem, forgetting is. The deeper question is not who controls medicine, but what do we recognize as healing, because when that answer changes, everything else follows. And maybe, just maybe, the body has been waiting all along, not for a cure, but for us to listen again.